Good morning. My name is Tasha, and I'll be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to the Shop Direct to Ensure Enrollment Process conference call. All lines will remain on mute for the duration of the call. Should you need operator's assistance during the call, please press *0 and an operator will come back to assist you. Thank you. I'd now like to turn the call over to your host, Mr. Joseph Muldoon, Director of Small Business Marketplace. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for taking the time out to join us today. Just wanted a couple of ground rules for the webinar. That everybody is muted. However, you can submit questions through the Q&A function on the web control panel, and we'll try to get to all the questions at the end of the presentation. And also, the presentation is being recorded and will be available on our website probably within about 24 hours. And everybody who's registered will receive an email of the presentation as well. Okay? So I'm Joe Muldoon, Director of Small Business Marketplace. We also have today with us Dave Pinello, who's the Regional Director in the Small Business Marketplace, and Michael Greklek, also a Regional Director. We're going to go over some changes for 2018. We spoke to you a couple of weeks ago and said we'd get back to you with some system things, and that's kind of the plan here today. So I want to review the changes, give you some updates, talk about the supplemental invitation that was sent out. David's then going to do a system demonstration on the direct enrollment, some of the changes that you're going to see in the broker portal and the employer portal. Michael's then going to go over some notices that are going to be going out and some other things related to the direct enrollment process. We'll handle questions and hopefully answers. And with that, we'll get started. As we said a couple of weeks ago when we were together, HHS, with their Notice of Benefit and Payment Parameters rule that they set out in 2017, was a format to allow exchanges to change the process a little bit and go directly to carriers. And in the meantime, that would satisfy that it would be shop certified and the business could get the tax credits if they were eligible. And we have decided at New York State to do that. You know, New York State's been one of the most successful shop plans in the country. We have one of the higher memberships. But even with that, we really didn't feel like we were getting those credits out to all the small businesses that can take advantage of it. So we thought this was a real good way to do that. It's going to make it easier for small employers to access the federal tax credits, and that's what this is all about. It's also going to make it easier for the insurers, the issuers to participate. Not going to be the dual administration things going on. So we're trying to make this an easier experience and basically align the enrollment process with the outside small group marketplace. What's really, really important to note, though, this only affects shop. There is no change at all on the individual side. That is going to continue exactly as it works today. So under the model, what we're going to do in shop, we're going to continue to certify the plans through the sale of shop. Continue to maintain a website that's going to display and compare plans. We're also going to provide employer eligibility determinations that are going to be needed to claim the tax credits. What we're discontinuing is the employer eligibility determination. So shop will only make an employer eligible. The employee we will not have any dealings with. The online enrollment functionality is also going to go away. And the enrollment coordination that we have with carriers, we won't be doing anymore. And also, there will be no more premium billing and collection. So the implementation with this is on April 1st, which is pretty close. All new groups coming in, new groups now. They will come to SHOP, receive an employer eligibility determination, which basically is going to be, a letter that they'll receive from us. They'll then go into the anonymous shopping tool and be able to select certified plans and view them. And then they will go directly to an insurer or a certified broker to enroll. For existing groups that we have, upon renewal, they're going to receive that eligibility determination automatically. They will also go into the anonymous shopping tool to shop for certified plans, and they will renew directly with the issuer or a certified broker. So I want to talk a little bit about the transition. We received some federal guidance, and the transition is a little bit different, I think, than we talked about the last time. Last time we talked about sending all the business at once to the insurers, and that's not how we're going to do it. Any administration for the current year, we will still maintain the responsibility until they roll off. So basically a March 1 group that came in this March 1st would stay with us for the entire year. We will continue to do the administration. We will continue to do the billing. And then when they roll off at that point in time, that's when they'll go under the direct enrollment scenario with the carriers. So the current plan year, we would continue to collect premiums. We continue to reconcile coverage, any add employees, any lifetime changes, all these things we will continue to administer. For the new plan year, they would be transferred to the insurer. So now, once they go to the insurer, they will be the ones with new enrollments, processing changes, determining employee eligibility, doing premium billing and collection, and handling appeals regarding the employee eligibility. So this is a little bit of a change from what we said the last time when we said that we were going to transfer the entire book. So we're not going to do that. So all new business now coming in April 1, new business, will go through this new process. Anybody renewal, upon their renewal, that's when they would start going through. We will continue to bill them, under the current year. So with this whole process, we sent out invitations. We sent them to all the carriers that sell small group health insurance in the state. And we have been very pleasantly surprised. It's a little bit too premature right now to release all the information because they have a few more days to get everything in, so we're compiling everything. But we've seen a tremendous interest on the part of the insurers, and we'll release all this information next week sometime to let you know who's where and who's participating and so on. But I can say that as a result of this, small businesses on Long Island will have 2018 options available to them. And small businesses will also have a choice of at least 2 insurers in every county of the state. And there's certain counties that there will be as many as 5 carriers that are participating. And also there'll be a lot more plans that to choose from. This was the goal. This is really what we wanted to accomplish, again, to get more options out there so small businesses can take advantage of the tax credit if they qualify. And, it seems like we're definitely hitting that mark. Again, once we have more data, we close out the invitation, we'll get all this information out so people know what's going on. So with that, I'm going to ask you to give us a minute or two. David's going to do a live demonstration of what the broker portal is going to look like, and the employer portal, I think, too, right, Dave?
Yep. I'm going to run through the broker portal, and then I think I'll switch over and just run in a new employer group. I'm going to run it from both sides so you can see it from the broker side, and then I'm also going to run it from the employer side. So give me 1 second. It's logged out on me, so I need to just log back in. So your broker dashboard isn't going to change, so you're going to log in the same way that you do current day. So you're going to come into the general website, you're going to click on brokers, and then click here to log in, enter your username and password, and then sign in. You'll have to generate a token. And then it'll bring you to your broker dashboard. And what I really want to point out on this page is that you're not going to see any changes to the broker dashboard. The only thing that we changed with this new implementation, this new process, is we added a useful link for the broker mass upload template, which we'll get to a little bit later. But other than that, everything's going to look exactly the same as it does current day. When you come onto this screen, you're going to want to go over to your My Clients, and you're going to be able to select your agency, and that'll populate your current groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this looks from what we're calling a legacy account. So a current group that's in the system right now, current day, that has enrollment, if you need to get in, as Joe was saying, these groups we're going to maintain the administration for. So they're going to stay in our system, they're going to stay fully active, they're going to stay on your dashboard, and they are not going to roll off, so to speak, for their administration until the renewal. So using Joe's example of March 1st, 2018 group, they're not going to roll off until February 28th of 2019. And at that time, the administration will go over to the carrier. They will remain in this website. So on your dashboard, the only thing that'll change for them is you won't be able to, well, you still be able to access their legacy account, but just the administration will change. So this is how you're going to access them. So if we went down to Green Tree Vegetables, you would hit Manage. That'll take you into the new dashboard. So this is the new dashboard. This is what you're going to see. Again, this is a test environment, so there are some things with it that are getting updated, but this is generally how it'll look. You know, this is how it's going to look. There might be some syntax changes up top. There's going to be an invitation code right where my mouse pointer is underneath the account number. But you're going to see the company name, Green Tree Vegetables. You're going to have the account number right up top. The broker of record, it'll list you as the broker of record, and then you'll have an invitation code over to the right-hand side. There's some text. Right in the middle here, this shop document history, this is where you're going to see the eligibility letter. So because this is a legacy account and we're transferring them all over, it's a legacy account with active enrollment, we're going to generate the eligibility letter. I'm going to open it up just to give you a brief look to show you what you can do. You're going to have two options. You're going to be able to open it and print it or save it to your account as a PDF or your computer. Or if you come down to this link right here, you can click this link and you can mail it directly to the business mailing address. So if you want to, if you have an employer group that would like to receive the letter, you have a few different options. You can save it and email it to them. You can print it and hand deliver it. Or if you'd just like to mail it, you can come in and click on this link and you can mail it right off to them. So this is a test letter, so it's not going to look like this. These M5044s and whatnot aren't going to show, but this is generally going to be the congratulations letter. It's just going to basically give them a congratulations, you're a shop eligible employer. which I think, Mike, are you going over those or are you going over the other notices? Other notices. The other notices. Okay, so this is going to be the eligible employer notice, and it's just going to basically say, congratulations, you're a SHOP eligible employer. You have attested that you have a physical location in New York State and you have between 1 and 100 full-time equivalents. And then give some information on the tax credit. And so this letter is important. This is what they're going to use for 2018 when they file their taxes. So this is going to be the proof that they should be giving to their tax accountant or whoever is going to help them when accessing the tax credit to show that they are an eligible employer for the small business marketplace. So this is where you're going to find this letter, and this is how you're going to access it, and this is what you should use for 2018. We're going to, one thing to note about the letter, which I know we discussed in the previous webinar, is you only need to get the letter for the tax year that you're in, or for the calendar year that you're in. So this letter is good for all of 2018. We're going to generate another letter if they meet the eligibility requirements for 2019, and they would use that if they qualified for the tax credit in 2019. Continuing on, you're going to have some links that are below this. There's going to be a link here where you can access the insurance carriers. So if you're looking for, it's up top here on insurance carrier, that's a live hot link, or it's also below, you can grab it. But this is going to open up, and it's going to give you a list of all of the insurance carriers and how to contact them. So their website, it'll bring you right to their employer page, and then it'll give you the phone numbers for their sales departments as well as the dental carriers. We also have a link to our anonymous shopping tool. So if you click on the Browse Shop Certified Plans and Prices, that'll bring you right over to our anonymous shopping tool. You'll be able to see all of the products that are shop certified. You can go in here, you can look at the different carriers, and you can look at their different products to make sure that you're enrolling your employer groups in a shop certified product if they're going to be eligible and take the tax credit. Again, not only do they have to receive an eligibility determination from the small business marketplace, but they have to be enrolled in a shop certified product with the carriers. Continuing on, we have a link that will bring you to the IRS. It'll give you all the details on the tax credit. So this is going to open up, and it's just, the general IRS website, and basically it will help you determine if the small businesses could qualify for the small business tax credit. And then we also have a link to our tax credit calculator, where you can enter some information on the full number of full-time employees, the full-time equivalents, and actually I'll pop in a couple numbers so you can see it. So if you had 10 full-time employees and 5 full-time equivalents, and your total annual wages paid for the employees was, I don't know, let's say 500,000. Your annual employee contribution was, what, 50,000? And if you were a tax-exempt nonprofit employer, if you're not, if you are, you can get up to 35%. If you're not, you can get up to 50%. So let's go ahead and we'll calculate this and see where we come out. And I don't think it's going to show me. It's EIT. So it's, yeah, again, we're in a test environment, so you will be able to access it. It does work on our website current day. So it just links to the tax credit that's on our website. Unfortunately, this is a test environment, so not all of the functionality transfers over. A lot of it we have to kind of do manually in the test environments. But if it did work, it would give you a number, and it would tell you a general range where you could expect the employer to fall for how much they could receive in return for the tax credit. And it can be pretty substantial, especially for employer groups that are a little lower on the scale. So if they're closer to that 10 employee and that $25,000 mark, then they generally they'll get more, and you'll get more. The employer group will get more back in the tax credit. So continuing on for the shop navigation, this edit employer information and this submit eligibility determination is an important link. We also have it hot linked up above. this is where if anything changes for the employer, or if you need to get a different eligibility determination, this is the link that you're going to want to click on. So this will actually bring you in, and it'll bring you to the form. And I'm going to go over the form. I'm not going to show you too much on here because I'm going to go over the form when I enter a new group and walk you through. But when you're entering a new group, this is the first page that they're going to see. So if you enter a new group to us, a group that's not in our system, you're going to enter it right through here. So what I'm going to do is just go back. And again, this shop navigation has a few very important links. Access legacy account. You're going to want to make sure that you know where this is, because if you need to work on this account, if you need to work on their current coverage or do anything with their current coverage that's going to remain active, this is how you're going to access it. So when you come in and Green Tree Vegetables is one of your employer groups and you need to add a new hire in their current coverage for their current year, you're going to get dropped on this dashboard, you're going to scroll down, you're going to hit Access Legacy Account, and it's going to take you into their current coverage. So just the way you would access it today, after coming to the new dashboard is how you would do it. So that Access Legacy Account will bring you through, and it'll bring you right over to the old system, so to speak. And you'll be able to, do everything that you do current day. This is business as usual when you're over on this page, again, until they roll off on their renewal. And that is starting with 7/1 renewals. So we're going to renew groups right up through 6/1. So 6/1 groups will renew in our system. And then we did not run the jobs for the 7/1 groups. So the 7/1 groups will be going directly to the carriers. And you will not have a renewal account in our system to be able to work in. So you'll be able to access their current coverage. You won't be able to access their renewal coverage. There's a return to agent portal. We'll click on that. It'll bring us right back to our agent dashboard. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to add a new employer group so I can show you the form and we can run you through. And then what I think I'll do is I'll add one from the employer side so you can also see that. So the way you're going to add a new employer group is you're going to come right in to Manage Clients. You're going to come down, you're going to select the agency that you would like it under, DOH or Direct Clients, or if you have multiple agencies, you're going to want to pick the agency you want that new employer to be under. There's a change now. So it used to be you hit Add New Employer, you entered some information, and it basically created a shell account that would come down below, and then you'd have to re-click on it and go into the account to start the process. This Add New Employer group is going to bring you right to the form. So once I click this, it's going to bring me right to the shop eligibility determination form, and I'm going to be able to start to implement the information as soon as I check this box here. So you're going to have to check a box that's saying that you're about to enter information to obtain a New York State of Health Small Business Marketplace eligibility determination. And by checking this box, you are attesting that you are authorized on behalf of this small group employer to obtain this eligibility determination. So once we check this, it's going to open it up, and it's going to let me start inputting information. Let's start inputting. So we're going to enter the contact holder's first name. We're going to enter their last name, their email address. We're going to have to confirm the email address. We're going to enter a business telephone. And then we're going to enter the legal company name and their EIN. So let's grab the EIN. And grab the legal company name. So once we enter this, you're going to want to make sure this is accurate because we're going to verify the EIN against the legal company name. We're going to bounce it off the Department of Tax and Finance to make sure that is correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just change the number for a second to see if I can get a EIN that's not valid. So we're going to hit that just so I can show you an error message. And again, you'll have to bear with me. This is a test environment, so it does take longer than it normally would to return a result. All right, great. So when you enter an EIN that doesn't match the legal company name that you provided, it's going to give you an error message, and it's going to say that we couldn't verify the information. Please go up and correct it. If you're positive that this is correct, if you're positive that you haven't transposed the number, that this is the legal company name, and the EIN is correct. I mean, most importantly, the EIN has to be correct. But we do return errors where the EIN is correct and the legal company name maybe has a special character in it or something along those lines that just doesn't match what the Department of Tax and Finance has. So in those cases, if you know that the EIN is correct, you're going to attest that the company name and EIN are correct above, and it's going to let you proceed and create the group so that you can get them an eligibility determination letter and then allow them to access the tax credit. Again, you need to make sure that the EIN is correct because this is what they're going to be using for tax purposes. So if you don't have it correct, it's not going to work when they go to file for their taxes. Let's go ahead and we'll change it back. One other error message that I actually want to talk about before I go ahead and verify this. If you enter a duplicate EIN, it's going to request that you, and actually maybe I'll do that. I'm going to run through this and maybe I'll come back and show you a dupe EIN. Basically what it's going to show you is it's going to request that you file a broker of record or that you get the employer group to go in and make you the broker of record. If it's a duplicate EIN, and what I mean by duplicate EIN is that we already have the EIN in our system. That means we already have a group created for that EIN, and you're not the broker on that group. Or if you are the broker, you need to go to your account list, and you need to access them through your account list. But if you're not the broker and you enter that EIN, it's going to throw up an error message that says this is a duplicate EIN. Please submit a broker of record on that EIN to us, and we'll make you the broker. Or please have the employer group log into their account and change you to their broker, and then you'll be able to access them. They'll show up under your My Clients page. Let's go ahead and we'll verify this. Once it's verified, you'll get a green check. We're going to enter some address information. Again, this is physical location, primary business address. 12461. So once you enter the address, the city, the zip code will populate the county and the state. It'll ask you if your mailing address is the same as your primary business address. If it is, you can hit yes. If it's not, you hit no. It'll open up another screen here where you can enter the mailing address. If it's different, we're just going to hit yes and say that it is the same. We're going to then collect some basic information on the group itself. We're going to get the number of full-time equivalents, so we'll just enter 20. We're going to get the number of eligible employees, 10. And then we're going to get down to the 2 attestation questions. So the 2 attestation questions we're going to ask here is, does the business have a physical location in New York State? And does the business have between 1 and 100 full-time equivalent employees? If they do, you hit yes. It'll populate the next question. You can hit yes and continue. If they check no, or you check no, it's going to throw up an error saying a business must have a physical location in New York State to be eligible. It's also going to give some information and say your business is not eligible to enroll in shop coverage because you checked that you didn't have a physical location in New York State. And it's going to tell you how to change your answer by clicking yes. It's also going to have you confirm that your business is not currently eligible for shop coverage because you don't have a physical location in New York State. So if we had an employer group come in, check no, they would have to not only check no, they'd have to read this error message, they'd have to confirm that they're not eligible for shop, and then they'd have to submit it. We're going to say that this business does have a physical location in New York State, and we're going to go to the next question, which is, does the business have between 1 and 100 full-time equivalent employees? If it's yes, they're going to get the submit button. If it's no, they're going to get the same error, for this business must have between 1 and 100 full-time equivalent employees, and it's going to tell them how to change their answer. And if they want, they can confirm that they're not shop eligible and then submit it. And for either of these two attestations, if they go through this process, they check the box and they hit submit, we're going to populate an ineligible letter, and we're going to mail it to them. And it's going to say that you went through the system, you went through the form, you went through our process, you're in our system, and we've determined you ineligible. So if that's what they go through, they're going to get that ineligible letter. They can come back in and they can reattest. They can enter this information again. Realistically, we're giving the employer eligibility determination. It's for the tax credit purposes. So if they don't have between 1 and 100 full-time equivalents, or they don't have a physical location in New York State, that's going to come out on their taxes. So we're going to put yes to both, and we're going to hit submit. Once we do, it's going to bring us right over to that dashboard that I showed you for the legacy account, which is going to be, generally where you're always going to land unless it's a new group. It is going to be where you're always going to land unless it's a new group. Once you come in and the first time that you just ran through the form, it's going to give you a congratulations saying that New York State Health has been determined, your business to be an eligible small business. Again, company name, account number, your broker of record, so have your name, and then the invitation code for the employer group. Scrolling down, there's our eligibility letter. So it's going to give us the eligibility letter, what year it was populated. It's going to give us the date that it was populated, and it's going to give us the open and print function, and we also have the mail function. Again, we have the ready to enroll in coverage navigation links. So we're going to have all 4 of those, so they can browse the you can browse the shop certified plans, or the employer group can browse the shop certified plans. You can get the contact information for the shop certified insurance carriers. You can see if you qualify for the small business tax credit by going out to the IRS site, and you can view the small business tax credit calculator right on our website. And then because the one thing, if you go under shop navigation, you'll notice that one of the links is missing. That is access legacy account. There is no legacy account because this is a new group, so you're going to still be able to go in, edit the employer information, and submit an eligibility determination, and you're going to be able to return to the agent portal, but there won't be an access legacy account. Also, one link that's missing off of the broker page, but you'll see on the employer page, is the work with a shop certified broker navigator. So we're going to have manage broker navigator link right on their page so that they can add a broker navigator very easily. The link is same as current functionality, so they'll click the link, they'll go in, and they'll search for the broker with some of your information, last name, agency. They'll be able to find you and add you as their broker. So that is the walkthrough from the broker side. One other thing, let me actually go back to the broker dashboard. One thing I want to show you on the broker dashboard was the useful links. What we're calling current day the mass upload template. As soon as this allows me to click on it, show it to you under useful links. All right, so when you come into your site, we have a new link under Useful Links. So you're going to click on it, and you're going to scroll to the bottom, and it's called, right now, it's called the Mass Upload Template for Shop Eligibility Letters. What we're going to use this for is to upload through a template employer groups. So we didn't want brokers to have to sit at their computer and key in their groups one at a time. We know that you have a large population of groups, and we wanted to make it easy for you to get those groups into our system, to get them an eligibility determination letter, so they could access the tax credit if they needed to. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is for, is to make the tax credit available to hopefully all New York State small businesses. So we have this broker mass upload template where you're going to enter some basic information. And as soon as you enter that information, you're going to email it over to us. We're going to send it over to our vendor. They're going to take all that information, and they're going to create the accounts for you. So you don't have to sit there. You don't have to populate them one at a time. We ask that you don't use this for, if you have two groups, we ask that, use this for bulk upload. So, if you're trying to get 50, 100, 2,000 groups in with us, please dump that information into this spreadsheet and send it to us. It's the basic information that we just went through on that form. So you're going to have your broker ID so that they can be associated to you. It's going to ask you, that attestation question that the brokers see right at the top. You have to enter yes here so that you're checking the box saying that you are authorized on behalf of this small group to attain this eligibility determination. You're going to enter the employer's contact information, so their first name, last name, the email address, the phone numbers, the legal company name and the EIN. Again, legal company name and EIN. You want to make sure that these are accurate and correct. You're going to do the EIN attestation. You're going to want to click yes, straight on through. The primary business address in New York State, the number of full-time equivalents, number of eligibles, and then at the end you're going to have your two attestation questions. And again, because you're entering these, this should be yes all the way through, unless you have a group that is a no, and then they would not be an eligible small business for the small business marketplace. But again, this is used to get the employer groups into our system easily. We're going to be coming out to the broker community, Mike and myself and some other people. We're going to be making an effort to get out to sit with you to kind of go over this and hopefully get you to put some small groups in here and enter them into our system. All right. Are we doing good with time? Yeah? Okay. What I'll do next is I'm going to run you through quickly from the employer group side, and just log out of here. So employer groups, this is what they're going to see. I just want to show it to you so that you can see that they're going to see the exact same thing that you are. So they're going to log in as an employer group. Sorry, this is the first time they're coming in, so they're not going to log in, they're going to register. So first name, last name, email. Their preferred username, that's what we'll call it, because confirm they're not a robot, and then they're going to be able to go on to their next. And then got an activation email. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab that email and access this account. I'm going to pause this for a second. Again, give me 1 second, just grabbing the email here, getting it all set up. Okay, so we're back. So let's go ahead and I just created the employer account. I grabbed the activation email. I entered the password, and now we're going to log in with it, hopefully. All right. So, as a new employer group coming in, so any new employer groups that you have, or when you're working with an employer group and they're kind of talking you through this process, I thought it would be important to see this because basically that's what they're going to do. They're going to register an account and they're going to log in. As soon as they log in, they're going to come right to this form. So if they've never been in our system, they're going to come right to this eligibility form, and this is the screen that they're going to see. It's going to have some information that's populated from the previous screens that I entered in, so my first name, my last name, and my email address that I'm going to have to confirm. To enter my business telephone. We're going to grab the legal company name, EIN. It's going to ask for the same information that you entered as the broker, so the primary address, the zip will populate the county and the state, and you'll enter the city. It is the same as my mailing address. We do have a physical location in New York State, and we do have between 1 and 100 full-time equivalent employees. So we're going to submit. We're going to get the congratulations. As you can see, there's no broker of record up here. So this is a new employer group just coming in. Company name, account number, invitation code. They're going to see their eligibility determination letter. Click here to mail it, and then they'll have the you can work with a shop certified broker navigator. So they're going to have the link here where they can click on this, and they're also going to have it here where they can find manage broker navigator. So what I'll do is I'll actually go in and I'll click on it and show you. It's going to come to this screen. They're going to hit find a broker navigator, just like they do current day. It's going to come in, and we'll enter, select the agent type as broker, and we'll search, and then you'll populate. They're going to check the box next to your name, and they're going to authorize this broker navigator. And that's it. You're going to get an email that's going to say that they're authorizing you, and they're going to show up on your dashboard. So it's a very easy process, and now I'm the broker of record for this employer group. So if you do run into an issue where the employer group is already in the system, that's how they would add you as the broker. Again, that's one way to do it. You can have them just log in, click Find Manage Broker Navigator, and add you as the broker, or you can collect a broker of record from them, a signed broker of record letter that you can get the template right from our website, and you can email it over to us. We actually have an email address that comes up when that error comes up. It's just the general broker email address, and you email it right over, and we will add you as the broker of record. So I think that's the end of my live demo, and with that, I will turn it over to Mike Grecklick. Let me get back on the screens. I don't know if you have some.
All right, thanks, David. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, so real quick, we just wanted to go over the benefits underneath this new process. So obviously, what we're trying to do here is get the tax credit into as many small businesses for New York as possible. So we're looking at kind of two different areas that we're honing in on. One, the benefits of enrolling through the small business marketplaces. One, tax credits, and you still are also able to have choice. Small business owners can still offer multiple health plans from different insurers, depending on the plans that you enroll in and depending on the individual carrier's participation guidelines, which I know most of you already deal with in the outside world for off-exchange products. They can still offer a variety of price points to meet their employees' needs and many different products. So that's not going away. And of course, you know, through our website, you'll be able to use our anonymous shopping tool in order to be able to see all shop certified plans and premiums that are available. So the employers will be able to do this, and you'll be able to do this as well. Once our supplemental invitation is complete, I'll be also updating the rate sheets, the quarterly rate sheets that we provide out there as well to you through your broker producer toolkit. So you'll be able to also see the different pricing per quarter for each carrier that is now certified, has shop certified plans with us. David mentioned and actually reviewed the employer mass upload template. So the idea behind this is that we wanted to make it easy for all of you to obtain the eligibility determinations for your employer groups that aren't existing shop groups. So this form can be used to only obtain eligibility determinations for new shop employer groups. If you are looking, if there's an existing shop employer group as a result of you submitting this, we'll let you know, and then we'll also ask for the BOR to change that in our system. But really, this template is for eligibility determinations for groups that are new to us, not already have accounts with us. We're also putting a minimum on here where you can use this process for 10 or more. So if you have at least 10 new groups that you want to receive eligibility determinations for, you can submit this and we'll do the work for you. You don't have to individually enroll these employer groups into our system. We thought that would be helpful, especially in the beginning. You can download the form from your Useful Links tab in your account, and then when you fill out the form, include all the information and complete it, you're going to send it to the NYSOH broker support at health.ny.gov mailbox. And of course, if for whatever reason you don't have access to your New York State of Health broker account, you can just email the NYSOH broker support at health.ny.gov email, and we'll send you the form as well. So we'll be flexible in that arrangement. We're asking for about 5 business days to process these, especially in the beginning here. It could take less time or take a couple more days, but again, if you could give us at least 5 days to kind of turn them around and get them back to you, we would appreciate it. Once complete, once we process everything, we will send you copies of the eligibility determination for each one of the employer groups that you provided to us. You can also, within the form, let us know whether or not you want us to automatically mail it out to these employer groups or not. So that's also up to you. We could do the eligibility determination forms, hand them to you, and you can handle it through your normal process, or you can say, take this off my plate and mail it to them as soon as you have the eligibility determination. And I guess one other quick point on the, you can go back, David, on the eligibility determinations. One of the things that we've had some questions, and we'll get to it in the Q&A section, is that the eligibility determination is one of the steps that's needed in order to qualify for the tax credit. Getting the eligibility determination through us doesn't lock you into anything. It only provides you, your employer groups, the ability to obtain the tax credit. So with that regard, what we're saying is that to be safe, obtain the eligibility determination just in case. I just wanted to make that point, and I might hit on it again a little bit later. All right, next slide. So we're going to be sending out a couple different employer communications. One was mailed out this week. For all of our existing shop groups, there's just about over 2,000 for all renewal dates. We sent out a letter to those folks this week that just lets them know that their employer dashboard is changing, and then also how to access their old dashboard to manage their current coverage. So that's being mailed out this week. In one of the following slides here, we actually give you a copy of the letter itself, so you can see what we're sending to your employer groups if you have existing groups. We're also sending 90 days in advance of a group's renewal letter. And in this renewal letter, again, we're explaining the new process and what they're going to need to do as they renew. So again, rolling off upon renewal, they're going to go into the new direct enrollment process, so on and so forth. The next 2 slides actually provide generic copies of those letters, so if you receive any phone calls from your employer groups, you know exactly what we sent them. So go ahead so this is the initial dashboard. Again, it's just going in, letting them know nothing's happening with their current coverage. Your dashboard's going to look a little different in order to prepare for the upcoming changes and how you access your legacy dashboard. The next notice is, again, the renewal notice, which kind of goes through the different steps that they need to take upon the renewal. One thing I would like to mention is on towards the top left-hand side, you'll see we included 2 different dates. We included the renewal date, which will be specific to each group. Again, they're going to receive these letters 90 days in advance of their renewal. So this particular letter is for July renewal group, since that's our first set of groups that are going to renew into the new process. Right below the renewal date, you're going to see the act by date. So what we did and what we're going to do is we're going to target 60 days prior to the renewal date, and we're just kind of giving the employer groups a deadline to contact and go through the new group process or the direct enrollment process. That way they don't, kind of give them fair warning. Hey, you got to kind of act now or by this date to make sure that you don't have a lapse in coverage. It's just a little bit of a warning date, and we refer to it within the letter itself. To avoid a lapse in coverage, you should complete this process on or before the act by date. Different issuers have different timelines. Most are within 30 days, as long as you get the renewal paperwork in. Some are within 5 days, some are within 15. So we thought using the 60-day mark might help you as brokers and then also prompt them a little bit sooner to get into the renewal process a little sooner. One thing we wanted to touch base on was the broker newsletter. We've been diligently making all these system changes and working out all the different details. The broker newsletter will start up again next month for April. This will be the main way that we're going to communicate with all of you with any other little changes that might happen. This is also the same format that we're using to send out invites for broker webinars and those types of things. So if you could pay attention, if you need to add this, if you're not receiving the emails, you can email David, Joe, or I, or Stana. Our contact information at the end of this presentation. I also provide the link that you would add to your safe list to make sure that you continue to receive the broker newsletter emails or any invite from us. Pay attention to this area, or to this broker newsletter when it comes in, just because it's going to have really important information, especially as we kind of go through this process and these changes. We're going to be updating or providing updates as needed, and so you'll find a lot of useful information. We're also posting these newsletters on our website. You'll see the fourth bullet down to access the previous newsletters. You can go to the Producer Toolkit area, and it's within there. You can click on the New York State of Health Broker newsletter links. So maybe make it a habit every once in a while to go out to there and out to our website and just kind of look and see what has been sent out. And here's our the list of shop contacts. You can contact any one of us, and we'll answer questions. We do prefer that you use the New York State of Health broker contact email for general, just in case one or more of us are out of the office or something like that. It's using that inbox funnels it to all of us. So if you could use that one or contact us individually is fine as well. All right, and at this point we're going to look at questions. Now, I've answered a bunch while David and Joe were talking, but I think we'll probably re-review those as well. And so we're going to get into this portion.
Yeah, why don't you? Yep. Thanks, Mike. We're going to take about 30 seconds just to review some of these questions. And as Mike said, he's been answering a lot of them. But I want to go through them real quick to make sure that we get to ones that really we really need to. So just give us a second. We'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Thanks for your patience. We're back. One thing I just want to point out that this change is to, try to get as many companies that are eligible, give them access to a shop certified plan, because that's one of the requirements that a small business has to be in a shop certified plan. After that, nothing has changed. Just because they get a shop certification letter from us, they still have to go through the requirements that the IRS has to satisfy the tax credit. So they still have to be a company under 25. They still have to be contributing at least 50% of the employee cost, and their salaries, I believe right now, are $53,000. It changes each year, and this year is $53,000 or less. So those three things still have to be met. So the purpose of getting this letter, they may still, you know, go through that process and not qualify even though they have the letter. But they have to start with a shop certified plan, so that's what we're trying to make a lot easier for everybody. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm going to turn it over to David. He's been accumulating some questions here, and then I think Mike might have a few as well. We only got about 25 more minutes, but we'll try to do our best to cover as many as we can.
Thanks, Joe. The first one was, were brokers mentioned in the notices that we're sending out to the employer groups? And the answer to that is yes. We have a section in both that mention the brokers. Another question was, will we be able to put legacy groups direct to the carrier after 4/1/2018, or do we have to wait until 7/1/18? So if you have a legacy account on the system, it currently enrolled through the New York State of Health, they're going to remain with us until their renewal. You can take them out and bring them directly to a carrier off exchange, but they're going to get a new start date. So you're not going to be able to take that group and transition them to directly through the carrier, you know, and maintain their current start date. So it really it doesn't have anything to do with 7/1 other than we're not renewing groups 7/1 and on, but the groups will stay. So if you had, you know, the longest group that we're going to have with us, if you have a 6/1 group that renews with the New York State of Health, they're going to maintain their coverage. We're going to bill them. You're going to do everything like you do today in our system until 5/31/2019. Another question was, will new groups still have the option to create a shop account with more than one carrier? I think the question here, I can kind of answer it two ways. One is that they're going to create one shop account in our system to get an eligible employer determination, and then they're going to go directly to the carriers and create accounts with the carriers, so to speak, create enrollments with the carriers with as many as they want. So if they wanted to enroll in 2 or 3 carriers with a couple different products, they can do that. They're only going to need one employer eligibility determination on our website, and then they can go to the carriers and enroll directly with them with as many as they qualify for. So next question was, if a group has qualified for a tax credit, if a group has qualified for a tax credit for two years, is there any incentive to remain in shop? And again, we're doing this to make the tax credit available to more New York State small businesses. So we think that there's incentive to stay in the small business marketplace, but you know, if what we're doing this for is to make the tax credit available. So we're doing this to open it up so that you can get other small businesses that do qualify for the tax credit that maybe have not utilized it into the system and get them eligible for the small business tax credit. Has there been any change to participation requirements? Basically, we're deferring to the carriers. So your legacy accounts, the accounts that are currently enrolled that have active coverage on the small business marketplace, we're going to maintain the participation requirements that were in place for those groups. Any groups that come through the new process, so a new employer group that comes on after April 1st, again, they're going to get their eligible employer determination from us, and then they're going to go enroll with the carriers directly like you do current day. So, you know, we're going to basically defer to the carriers, and if, you know, they have requirements for the groups, they're going to have to meet those requirements. Next question was, a new group created off exchange applies for shop certification. They are determined eligible. Then what? Do they have to create an account on New York State of Health? Well, if they applied for the shop certification, if they went on our website, they're going to have to create an account. So yes, they're going to have to create an account. They're going to have to get their employer eligibility determination, and then they can go and enroll directly with the carriers. One thing to note is that eligibility determination, the carriers aren't going to use that or shouldn't be using that or requiring that for enrollment. So The new group can come on, they can get their eligible employer determination, and then go enroll with whoever they want for the employer groups, with the carriers, or maybe they're already enrolled with the carrier. So we're expecting groups that are already currently enrolled with carriers, they can come on and they can get an eligibility determination at any point and use it for the entire year. So again, those eligibility determinations are good for the entire year, no matter when you get them. So if you have a group that thinks that they qualify for the small business tax credit in 2018, they're currently already enrolled off exchange, or you have many groups that are currently already enrolled off exchange, we would expect that you should put them through the small business marketplace, get them an eligible employer determination so that if they think they qualify for the tax credit come tax time, you have the letter. You have it ready to go, and they can, if they do qualify for the tax credit, they can take that letter to their tax accountant and they can go and get the small business tax credit. That was the questions that I had written down. Actually, one more I had was, which you kind of went over, Joe, which was the tax credit requirements. Some people were asking about the different requirements for the tax credits and saying they didn't see certain things. Again, the only thing that we're determining is employer eligibility. So we're going to determine the employer's eligibility, that they have a valid EIN, that they have a physical location in New York State, and that they have between 1 and 100 full-time equivalent employees. If they meet all of those requirements, we're going to give them an eligible employer determination, a favorable one. The rest of these requirements for the tax credit or to enroll through a carrier are going to be done, the tax credits are going to be done when they file for their taxes. So if they meet all the requirements for the tax credit, they've received their eligible employer letter from the New York State of Health, and they're enrolled in a shop certified product, then they can go and they can access the tax credit.
Thanks, Dave. There's a question that keeps popping up, and I just want to address it, asking about specific carriers on Long Island. Again, as I said earlier with the invitation, we do know now that we will have a number of carriers. They're just not at liberty right now because the invitation process doesn't close until the end of this week. So we've got to get through all that. We will be making an announcement, I hope next week sometime, who the carriers are, and so on, the plans and so on. But I can assure you that yes, there will be some carriers available on Long Island.
So we just got another question. Will the carrier need us to tell them this group is a shop group when we enroll a new group?
Good question.
And that is a very good question. Yes, we recommend that you tell the insurance carriers, the insurers, that this is a shop certified group, that you want to make sure that they're in shop certified products, and that you went out, or you're going to go out and get an eligibility determination for them. That's always a good idea. But again, it's not a requirement of enrollment. So if you don't, it's not they're not going to get denied enrollment. And at tax time, as long as they receive the eligible employer determination from us and they're enrolled in shop certified product and they want to be considered a shop group, then those are the 3 requirements in the regulation.
Mike, do you have any that you've been scrolling through over there?
If you guys are pretty much answering them, let me just kind of scroll through real quick here.
I have a question about Healthy New York. And I just want to say at this point, as we said in the last presentation, that Healthy New York was under consideration. There was still has been no decision made on it yet. So at this point, Healthy New York is not would not be an available product. But again, we're keeping our fingers crossed. Maybe it'll be there next year.
One of the questions in here I just wanted to go over again. Do we need to re-enter groups every year, or will they get a renewal letter for 2019 automatically? So pursuant to the current regs and the way that they're written, we're going to automatically renew. We're going to, of course, take a look and make sure that they're still a valid business and take a look at their EIN and hit it up against the Department of Taxation and Finance but in general, we will automatically provide an automatic determination every year. When we will do that, it will most likely be later, mid-year, after the kind of the tax date follows, but we're still working that piece out, but we will be automatically renewing groups.
I have another question here. Question is, being a broker for a group on the shop does not assure me of being listed as broker with the carrier, correct? I'll need a separate BOR. Yes. So the answer to that is yes. So we're not going to be transmitting any data as far as that goes between us and the carriers. So if you're the broker of record on our site, that is not going to assure you that you're the broker of record on the carrier site. You're going to need to make sure that you have the broker of record and you submit it to the carrier when you enroll them. So your current process for current day off exchange is what you're going to use when you're enrolling these groups. And then there was another question, is this process to be used for navigators assisting consumers in the small business marketplace? The answer is yes. You're going to do the same process. You're going to get online and do the eligibility determination to determine them an eligible small employer, and then either probably turn it over to the insurers and let them enroll directly with the insurer.
There was a question on here, is there a chart of which carriers are operating in the various counties that you can access? Yes, we offer participation by county charts for both the individual side and shop side. As Joe had mentioned, we're currently finalizing the supplemental invitation. Once that's completed, we'll provide an updated chart out on our general website that will include the updated list of carriers by county, participation by county. I would also note that once the supplemental invitation is also completed, I will be also posting out there updated rate sheets, which you can also determine which carriers are offered in which county as well, using that tool.
Another question just came in. BOR will carry forward on renewals of existing legacy shop accounts. The answer is yes. So I just want to reiterate, for your existing legacy accounts, the accounts that are currently enrolled in the New York State of Health Small Business Marketplace, the ones that are got in the system before 4/1, before we're making this change, or are renewing up to 6/1, nothing is going to change for them. So that's business as usual. So all of the electronic 834s, everything that we send back and forth with the carriers is going to be maintained. All of the billing that we currently do, all of that administration is all going to be maintained, and it's going to be business as usual for those groups. The only change for them is you're going to land on that new dashboard. So you as the broker, them as the employer group, when they log in or when you log in to their account, you're going to go to the new dashboard, that new dashboard that we created. And you're going to have to click on Access Legacy Account link at the bottom, and that'll take you over to the old dashboard, so to speak, and you can work in their account. And again, business as usual, so you're going to do all the same stuff that you currently do. So if you have a new hire, you got to do it in our system. If you have an LSC, do it in our system. Any of the billing, anything along those lines, that's all done through our system, and we're going to maintain that communication with the carriers, and that is going to be maintained right up and through 5/31/2019. It actually extend beyond that, for collection and different things. So it's going to extend for pretty much the rest of 18 and pretty much all of 19. It'll extend for.
Okay, Mike's got a few more, then we're going to wrap up.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to hit home on the qualifications for the tax credit. Please take the time to go out to the IRS website, or when the changes come in line, your new dashboard, or the new dashboard will include a link to the IRS website, and familiarize yourself with the requirements for the tax credit, because those are going to be the questions that you're going to get mostly. I found it helpful to go through the instructions for the Form 8941, and also take a look at the form that would be used in order to submit for the tax credit for employers. And one other thing that I wanted to kind of mention is that this is also for nonprofit groups as well. They can get up to, you know, maximum amount of 35%. And the IRS website has, you know, good resources in explaining, you know, how they're going to get that tax credit. One other question I had on here is, do we have to register the business before we use the tax credit calculator or specify any information? No, we provide access to the tax credit calculator within a new dashboard, but you can access this calculator at any time by going to our website, click on the Employer tab, and then scroll down to the bottom, and there should be a link in there that says to see if you qualify. You can use that and then just enter in general information to estimate how much the employer would be eligible for. That's all I have right now. I'll pass it over to Joe.
All right, well, we're going to wrap up now. I appreciate everybody, you know, dialing in today and getting on this webinar. As I said, we should have some really good, exciting news next week about who's participating, what plans they have, and so on. And we're going to be communicating that to all brokers. This webinar, as I said earlier, is going to be available on our website probably tomorrow. It usually takes about 24 hours to get on there. And everybody that signed up is going to receive the presentation in an email. So again, thanks a lot. We're really hoping that this new process is going to get a lot more people involved in SHOP, get that tax credit to companies that have not been taking advantage of it, and they should be. So take care. We'll probably be back together soon. We got a lot of stuff that we'll be communicating over the next few months. Thanks again. Have a great day.
This concludes today's conference. You may now disconnect.